Well, it's been 6 months since the Wallabies ended their last campaign in Europe. Now they're set to kickstart their 2017 international season, hosting the Flying Fijians at Melbourne's Amy Park. The first of 3 tests in the June window, all Saturday afternoon fixtures. Australia and Fiji's first clash since Rugby World Cup 2015 in Cardiff. The Wallabies are hot favourites, but there's no such thing as an easy game against Fiji nowadays. Weather absolutely perfect in Melbourne. Great conditions. Greg Clark with you, sideline Rod Kafer and Stephen Hoyles, and alongside me, the former Wallaby Tim Horan. A lot has been spoken about this Fijian forward pack, saying now they are good at their set piece, good at the line out, good at the scrum. What do you make of them?
Yeah, big forward pack, Clarkie, and certainly up front, Campese, Maafu, the loose head prop, 44 test caps, and he'll partner the 37-year-old Koto, 54 test caps as well. And in the second row, Tavita Thavanbati, and also the 7 specialist, Nakarawa. And then we've got Wonga Nibu-Rotu at 6, really experienced player, plays in France, Dawu, and also the skipper, Nguera. Rod Kafer, take us through the backs.
I'm fascinated to see this combination come together. Matawalu and Ben Volavola, known well here in Melbourne, of course, Vatu Bua, and Volivoli, former Queensland Reds, outside centre, and the pace out wide. Murray Valu at fullback. Of course, lots of good feet to watch and enjoy this afternoon.
Well, the reserve hooker, Telemai Tonga, the most experienced on the bench. Looking forward to seeing a couple of the debutants, Tawaki in 18, and Viliami Mata, Big Bill, a Rio Sevens gold medalist from last year. The Flying Fijians, they are coached by Aussie John McKee. And just going through their final preparations there. What about this Wallaby forward pack, Tim?
Yeah, good opportunity for Tatafu Pilota now, who comes in. Stephen Moore sits on the bench, so Tom Robinson will be at loose head prop and partnering Tatafu Pilota now, the experienced 68 test caps. Alan Alalatoa at tight head prop. In the lock, Sam Carter and Adam Coleman. Adam Coleman really liked his work in Super Rugby so far, really strong in defence. What a moment for Ned Hannigan, gets his debut at number 6. Michael Hooper will be the skipper, and Scott Higginbotham plays his first test match in a couple of years.
Will Guinea back in the side, played some decent rugby in France. Bernard Foley at 10. Carmichael Hunt on debut at 12. I think he's a natural 12, partnering Tavita Kurandrani in the centres. Henry Spate, form winger in Super Rugby in Australia. Dane Hale at Petty, and of course Izzy Folau at fullback.
What about the experience on the bench? Stephen Moore, Sakopi Kepu, Quade Cooper, and what a day it is for a couple of youngsters on debut. Number 20, Richard Hardwick, and number 21, Joe Powell. Australia coached by Michael Checker. So they're set to make their way out onto Amy Park to get this international year underway. Scott Higginbotham, all smiles there. Not required the last couple of campaigns. His first test since 2015. And it's going to be Michael Hooper who will lead the Wallabies out in gold. See number 19 there. Rory Arnold. He made an impact last year in his rookie international season. Well, a special moment now for the Fijians, led out by their very inspirational number 8, Akapusi Ngara. They're ranked 10 in the world. Last win over Australia, 1954. They're hoping to break a 13-game losing streak against the Aussies. The 15-point losing margin at Rugby World Cup 2015 was the closest they've got to the Wallabies since 1984. 7 tests were played in that period. They won 3 from 6 in 2016. Wins over Tonga, Samoa, Japan. They lost to England, Georgia and the Barbarians. They hope to qualify for the next World Cup as top team in the Oceania group, joining the Wallabies in Group D. So this could be a dress rehearsal for Japan 2019. And we say, Bula, welcome to Melbourne and Amy Park to the Fijians. 7 changes to the last run on side in the test against Japan last year. There is the inspirational captain.
Akapusi Quera, a wonderful player. He's played in Gloucester, Toulouse, Montpellier, so played all around the world, a lot of experience, and can put some big hits on as well. This player, Ben Volavola, certainly knows his pitch place here for the Melbourne Rebels. Last match against the Wallabies, Rugby World Cup, ran for over 70-odd metres, so expect him to be a live one, trying to inspire the back line. He's got some very quick players outside of him this afternoon.
So the Fijians are ready to open their campaign. They've got a busy month or so ahead of them as well. Well, the Wallabies ranked 3rd in the world. First of 14 test schedules so far in 2017. And after a disappointing season last year, they need to hit the ground running. First appearance in Melbourne since last year's loss to England in the second test, and it's a new and exciting looking team with 10 changes to the side that ran on the last test of 2016. Looking to end a 2-game losing streak after the losses to England and Ireland on last year's Northern Hemisphere tour. They've been in Melbourne for a week working on the new combinations. Two debutants in the starting team, Ned Hennigan and Carmichael Hunt. And a special occasion for Michael Hooper, the 25-year-old from the Waratahs, leading Australia out 14th test as captain. The 2017 international season about to get underway, and we are in Melbourne, and it's welcome back to the Wallabies.
What an opportunity for the debutants. Carmichael Hunt becomes a dual international, played for the Kangaroos and also now for the Wallabies. Plays 15 for the Queensland Reds, so a good opportunity for him to play at number 12. There he is, Carmichael Hunt, a lot of experience. Great time for him. And also, number 6, Ned Hennigan from the Randwick Club. I think he becomes the 102nd Randwick player to represent the Wallabies in the gold jersey. What a moment for him. Ned Hannigan's been sensational for the Waratahs so far in Super Rugby.
He is Wallaby number 904. Carmichael Hunt becomes Wallaby 905, and we can expect another couple to get their first cap off the bench as well. So perfect conditions in Melbourne, Australia against near neighbours Fiji. And now we are going to head down there for the welcome to country.
Welcome Wurundjeri Elder Auntie Di Kerr to deliver the welcome to country.
Womanjika, Wurundjeri Balak Yim and Gundibik, welcome to the home of Wurundjeri country. I wish to welcome you all from the tops of the trees to the roots in the ground. When we look after each other and we look after country, country truly looks after us. Nun Godjan, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Fiji will now be performed by William Vatubua, followed by the Australian national anthem performed by Blake Bowden from the cast of the hit musical The Book of Mormon, currently playing at the Princess Theatre, Melbourne, and the Qantas Choir featuring the Australian Girls Choir.
Wow, an outpouring of emotion again from the Fijians.
Young
Sensational. Blake Bowden and William Vatabua with the anthems. And before the players get into action, there's going to be the Wardards from the Fijians, the traditional Thimbi. What about the emotion from the Fijians? It's incredible.
Yeah, there's so many experienced players for Fiji, playing all over the world now in European and competitions. And so much pride. Hello to everyone watching back in Fiji. A great occasion for your team.
They had a short camp in the islands before heading to Melbourne. Been here all week preparing. Well done, Fiji. And of course, showing them a lot of respect, the Fijian-born players in the Aussie team, Davida Kurandrani and also Henry Spate. Well, there is Nico Matawalu, made his debut against Japan in 2010, 31st cap for him. Plays for the Exeter club, former Glasgow and Bath player. So many of these Fijians have a lot of experience in the north. Our referee is Matthew Carley from England. And the television match official, Ben Skeen, New Zealand. On the touchlines, Wayne Barnes from England and Brendan Pickerel from New Zealand.
Yeah, no worries.
And these teams, well, they've played 20 times. Australia have won 17, Fiji 2. There was the one draw here in Melbourne in 1961. And on Australian soil, Australia have won 12, Fiji 2, back in 1952 and 1954. And there was the 3-all draw in 1961. The 2017 international season is underway in Melbourne, and Foley goes high, knocked back and straight into the arms of the Wallabies. Loose ball there, and Higginbotham has to dive on it to clean up. Now it's a first touch for Carmichael Hunt and Spate, and out the back door. They weren't really expecting it. Let's go to the sideline now. Stephen Hoyles and Rod Kafer.
Thanks, Clarkie. Beautiful conditions, of course, and Stephen and I were just noting that there was a new kick-off set-up. Hoylesy there from the Wallabies.
You'll Adam Coleman, the tallest man in Australian rugby. It's nice to see them kick into our tallest aerial catches, and a great start from the Wallaby forwards.
And a good line-out win by Fiji, and Matawalu having a run. Tafu Pelota now went low, and now it's a solid hit there on Carmichael Hunt, but he's okay. And Vola looking to go wide, Albert Vuli. The big lock, Avumbati. 12 from halfway. Vola, out the back door it goes. And Yadi Watabua goes to ground. So putting some phases together, but not really going anywhere. Just getting a feel of the pill. Haven't had a lot of time together because of the situation they find themselves in, the Fijians. So many of them play in the Northern Hemisphere. They don't get an opportunity to get together all that often. Here's Dane Haylett-Petty having a good run. And Irabai just falling on top of him at the end. Carmichael Hunt to Falau up over halfway. Gania, great to see him back in goal from the Northern Hemisphere. There's Sam Carter, who's had a wonderful time leading the Brumbies this year. Carmichael Hunt down the short side, can't find a way through.
Second time Carmichael Hunt's gone into first receiver.
And they're playing advantage here. And Falau stepping. Nothing happening there, so it's a penalty to Australia.
He went over the ball, hands on the floor.
So not supporting your body weight.
Release, stay up.
Fiji, Nagusa, number 14. Carmichael Hunt, as I mentioned, twice getting into first receiver and trying to get on that left-hand side, and he had Israel Folau on his left, so those two working in tandem. Carmichael Hunt and Israel Folau on that short side.
We've seen Carmichael Hunt with that capacity to get the ball to the line early on, Tim. Great to see him taking it forward and just challenging the defence. There are no holes at the moment. As the game goes on, the holes start to open. Michael Checker watching on.
Terrific opportunity here for the men in goal. They have it trapped at the back. One of the Fijians having trouble getting out of there. It was Leone Nakarawa. Now Genia goes in looking for it, but no. Breaking away with it now is Pilotta now. Genia back to Foley. He's going to kick across for Folau's wing. It's one-on-one in the air, and it's on the ground, and Israel Folau is going to claim the first try of the international season.
The Fijian player plays the ball backwards. I just don't know whether he's played in the air by the Australian.
Muri Valu.
I believe the ball's been played back by White, and then Gold grounded it.
But was he contacted in the air? Ben?
Yes, mate.
We're pretty clear that the ball is played back by Fiji and grounded by 15 Australia. Just want to check whether he plays him in the air to make him spill the ball.
Muri Valu was the 15 who went up for the ball with Israel Folau, the opposite number. Both competing in the air, so I think at first look it looked okay. Both players go up. Israel Folau,
Fair contest.
he gets a touch to the ball. I think Israel Folau's touched that as well with his hands.
Nat, I'm happy that's a fair contest. We're just looking at where the ball rebounds from.
Okay.
Did it come off Folau first of all is what they're looking at
Nat,
now.
that's a White arm pushing the ball
It is
backwards.
rugby, folks. It
Gold
is a contest, and it was a fair
grounding.
contest in the air. No problem with that.
No, good contest for possession.
He's awarded a try. Referee, 5 points.
Try to Israel Folau, so that breaks an 11-game test drought as far as try scoring goes for Israel Folau. 21st try now.
Ben Skeen, the TMO, was very quick to award the try. Israel Folau looked like he got a hand on it, but both players going up for the ball. Muri Valu, lovely crossfield kick from Bernard Foley, wasn't it, Kaif?
Excellent kick, right on the money. And we saw Israel Folau score a similar try against the Kings in Super Rugby. And Bernard Foley made the kick on that occasion, but they never went back to it. It is a great opportunity to kick that ball for Izzy Folau, so good in the air.
Bernard Foley, 43rd test appearance now. He's missed just 3 tests since 2014, and he has got it on a string early on. It's over. And what about the start by the Wallabies? 7 points to 0 over Fiji.
Good opportunity, and Bernard Foley picked out that man there, Israel Folau. When you get him one-on-one, 9 times out of 10, he's going to out-jump his opposite number.
Folau, the most runs, tackle bus, offloads last year for the Wallabies, and he played every game.
Good carry from Michael Hooper.
So Carmichael Hunt to Foley. Wide they go. Alatoa, and quick hands from Folau, and Higginbotham almost intercepted there by Veroniki Gonova.
Gonova trying to get his hand underneath the ball. Here's the bench for the Wallabies. Stephen Moore sits on the bench with Warrie Arnold.
5 step out, 5 step out.
Skipper Michael Hooper
Get
today.
them, but you stay on the line, okay?
Tafu Pilotta now getting the start ahead of Stephen Moore in test number 1.
5, no. Line it
Pilotta
over.
has it at the back.
More, once.
Will Genia wants it, and it's been charged down, and did that go out? Wow, it's a game of centimetres. The flag is up. Walu, he almost stole a try there.
He's always bound in, and he only releases his body when you take the ball out.
Nakarawa it was, the 7 specialist, number 5 for Fiji. Just comes around quickly on Will Genia. Surprised Will Genia. Couldn't believe he was there so quickly. Nakarawa, gold medalist in Rio.
So the Wallabies, can they exit this time?
Yeah.
So Genia gets the kick away. Falls around halfway. Kinnear, Muri Valu, 28-year-old fullback.
Ball was out, play on.
And the Wallabies have stolen it. Alautoa gets it away. And Carter goes to ground.
First man ain't not now.
Genia, now Hennigan, the debutant. Taken there by Novumbati. Now the kick from Genia for Spate to chase, but he was playing advantage, and so we've got the penalty. Australia pretty much kickable if they want to go for the post and keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Matawalu, I think it was the 9 who was offside at the breakdown when the turnover came for the Wallabies. Got it away quickly. Alan Alatoa. Scott Higginbotham in the ball to Tafu Plotter now. The strength to actually turn the ball over and quickly to Alan Alatoa.
Just watching the Wallabies try to exit, and Hoylesy kicking off that 5-man drive. Difficult line out to kick off. No protection for Will Genia. Charged down once. Second time it was on as well.
You've got to be perfectly set up to be able to exit from a 5-man line out. So you do put your line out under pressure. And the first one, they got very lucky that Fiji didn't go under the post, but they do need a stable line out. I would have assumed they probably want to play off that and have him hit up midfield, but they've gone to the maul on every occasion off their line out so far, the Wallabies. So it's an area some of the Super Rugby sides have had a lot of success in, and if they can copy the Brumbies and see how well they do with it, they back their system, I suppose.
Well, it gives them a better kick chase, the 5-man liner, because you've got 2 back rowers potentially standing in the middle of the field. They can chase, and the kick chase is much better.
Bernard Foley, 419 points in his Test career, 5th overall for Australia. Michael Lynagh still leading the way on 911. Over 100 points in 3 consecutive years now for Bernard Foley in Wallaby gold, and this one is over again. So it is 10 points to 0. Australia over Fiji in Melbourne.
Bernard Foley, he's been wonderful for the Wallabies for the last couple of years. So dynamic, and you can see the points there. 140 odd in 2014, 2015 Rugby World Cup year, 113, 148 last year. So certainly really important fly half positionally wise for the Wallabies.
Haylett Petty taken just outside the 22. Genia to Hunt, Foley, Coleman, Falau, Higginbotham. Well, they're trying to move the ball quickly, aren't they, the Wallabies? That time the bounce was okay for Spate. Now Alatoa. Foley floats one over. Falau got away from one, and there's Hooper out wide. The captain having a run, trying to draw the man. He's over the halfway, waiting for the troops to arrive, and it's offside play by Fiji. Another penalty, and they're going to have to watch this. That's now the 3rd penalty conceded by Fiji, and we're only 9.5 minutes into the Test match.
It was a really good platform of play there from Alan Alatoa, because the ball went wide, and the skills coach Mick Byrne would be really impressed early on. The Wallabies getting some width in their game and then respecting the Fiji's defensive line to actually carry the ball forward by Alan Alatoa. Israel Folau on the left side. Michael Hooper just showed, waited. Muri Valu just stood off the fullback.
Good field position again for the Wallabies. Genia, and some slick work by the back line. It comes to a halt through Kurandrani, and now Coleman. Inside ball, Higginbotham. Over the top it goes. It needs to sit up for Spate, and it does! Henry Spate, what a try, Wallabies!
Interchange of play from the forwards and timing of Adam Coleman coming around the corner. Henry Spate didn't have to do a lot in the end, but gee, there was some good work early on. And Will Genia is getting so much quick ball. Watch the ball back inside to Higginbotham. Higginbotham looked, found Haylett Petty. Haylett Petty was trying to find Israel Folau and gets the good old bounce pass to Henry Spate over in the corner.
It's that willingness to want to throw the pass. Adam Coleman was only ever going to go to the line and look to offload. Dane Haylett Petty straightened up, came off the right foot, squared the shoulders up, knew if he got the ball into space, someone will pick it up. Needed probably to find Izzy had a little bit more time, perhaps, Dane, to make the pass, but in the end, good early passing, good use of the field.
It's one of the main benefits Scott Higginbotham brings to this side is his ability to keep the ball alive. It's an added dimension when players around him and backs in particular know that that ball's coming. Dane Halapeti, as you said, Coleman to Higginbotham. It was excellent work.
And Spate scoring for his adopted country against his country of birth. And his second test try. The first one was at the Rugby World Cup 2015 against Uruguay. Scored plenty of tries for the Brumbies in Super Rugby. And in his 12th test, he's now got 2 tries. And Foley from out wide. This one is unsuccessful, but a great start. 12 minutes gone, and it is 15-0.
Nice interchange of play. Adam Coleman defensively, he's been superb for the Western Force in Super Rugby and has really worked on getting offloads away. He really squared up the attack when he hit that line.
So Vola. We haven't seen Fijians with an opportunity to attack yet. The ball goes to ground, straight down. No, locked on.
Forward.
Yeah, maybe we'll see Fiji now with an opportunity.
Adam Coleman was trying to hand it back to Scott Higginbotham, who was looking to rip the ball back. So perfect platform now from left to right scrum with midfield runners for Fiji.
That was excellent work from the Fiji gold medalist Nakarawa there, number 5, one of the most experienced forward on either side of the teams today. Plays his footy in Glasgow, and he is a phenomenal footballer. Wait till he gets his opportunity to have a run today.
John McKee assisted by Alan Muir and Andre Bell, and he's brought in a few Aussies as well to look after the defence. Peter Ryan and the strength and conditioning, Damien Marsh and John Pryor. It's all about trying to qualify for Rugby World Cup 2019 for the Fijians, and they play the Wallabies today, and they've got Italy and Scotland in the next few weeks as well. Terrific work by Will Genia. Put some pressure on Nico Matawalu, and Carmichael Hunt out to Kurandrani. Spate over to Folau. Oops, slight fumble there, but he manages to hold on and stay in the field of play.
Let it go now.
So they've got some width here if they want it, but no, taking the direct route was Hannigan. Genia having a dart himself.
Release.
Carmichael Hunt back to Foley. Wants to play it at the other end. The tactics have worked well so far. What about the return? Up over halfway he goes, and he gets it out now to Ravai, the big front rower in the loose. Foley was the first one to make the tackle. Matawalu, over the top it goes, but it's going to beat everybody into touch. And so we're going to have a Wallaby throw into the line out, about 10 out from the corner post.
What counter-attack from Murumuri. Ned Hannigan just stood off. He wasn't sure whether Alan Alatoa was coming across defensively, and Hannigan stepped back. And then Ravai goes through, and Bernard Foley had to make the tackle.
Murumuri played over 100 games for La Rochelle in the French top 14. Plenty of experience.
4-man line out for the Wallabies.
And it's one at the front by Carter, straight down to Genia, and here's Higginbotham. And he's taken by the 7 and 8, Dawai and Gala. Good pick up there from Hannigan. And he's claimed eventually by Matawalu. Back to Foley. And again, he goes deep. This time he finds grass. And getting back there now is Veroniki Monova. Across to Murumuri Ualu. And this time they're able to control him. Vola looking for some runners, and it's gone backwards there. Koto cleans up on the 10-metre mark. The veteran hooker, 37 years of age. There's the kick over the top. And Folau and Foley are back there. And Foley says to Israel, have a run. And he does! Up over halfway, Israel Folau pops a beautiful ball to Kurandrani. He cuts back in field, up to the 22. Nice setup here for the Wallabies as Foley gives it to Coleman. They rush up on the big lock. Good defence there from Sudia Koto, and now the penalty goes against the Wallabies.
Please stay up, Australia.
Penalty against Sam Carter, just leaving his feet going over the top of the breakdown, but what a break from Israel Folau. You can actually see Michael Hooper pointing to where the space was and the gap was, because the Fijian defensive line wasn't across the field. They had about 4 or 5 players waiting for Bernard Foley or Israel Folau to put the kick back, and Israel Folau really good, looks up and found some space.
It's the unstructured kicking that the Wallabies have to be careful of. Exiting their half, they need to ensure that they either have a good solid kick chase and make it an effective kick, or they run the ball. Bernard Foley had the option, then found Izzy Folau, and he promotes the football 40 to 50 metres. Tavita Kurandrani then takes it on. We'll see the penalty here. Sam Carter will get done for sealing off and losing his feet. In the end, a little bit of a soft one.
Fiji to throw in through Sunia Koto. He's been at some clubs, hasn't he? Sunia Koto, former captain of the Narbonne club that had so many Aussies playing in France. Now he's with AC Macron in one of the lower leagues in France. So can they put something together here, the Fijians? Matawalu wants to go to the short side, and Vola gets it out now to the big winger, Timothy, and then Gusa. Ravi can't find a way through. Vola. Akarewa pops one over. Beautiful ball to Dawai.
Brendan.
And it's going to be advantage being played. Nonova up towards the 22.
Leave it.
Matawalu and Vola. Good pick up by the captain, Akapusi Ngara. And now Ravi is having a run.
Stay down.
Still there for Fiji. Adombati, and they get it out wide. Then Gusa back to Matawalu. Nothing happening there. So a penalty. No need to look at it for any further action.
Just a penalty, Brendan.
What's the best phase play of the match so far for Fiji? Interchanging of play. Played a little bit like sevens. There's the high shot, accidental from Israel Folau. Dawai as he went to ground. So anything around head high is penalised straight away.
Yeah, pretty reckless in the end from Folau.
Okay.
But they want to have another look.
Matt, we're going to bring you up the tackle that has occurred.
Dawai was falling to the ground. Israel Folau had to check on his tackle. Watch him then start to sort of fall and try and get the ball out the back. Matt Corley be just looking at seeing where there's actually force from Israel Folau in the tackle. If there is force, it could be a yellow card.
No impact, but not in control.
Paul, can we see that in real time to judge?
Okay.
Yes, please, real time.
Very difficult to defend Fiji when they get on a roll, but you need one player around the legs and also another player over the top to try and stop the offload.
Ben?
Yes, Matt?
So, I don't believe 15 Gold is in control, both feet off the floor, and then makes contact.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with that.
Contact is clearly over the shoulder.
Yes.
So, yellow card?
Yes.
Well, problems here for
Israel Folau. He doesn't have any control when he tackles him. He's got both feet off the floor, so it's a yellow.
Yeah, it was reckless
15.
from Israel Folau. He put his hand up.
You've got to show more control than that. You'll want the same if it's the other way round.
Good refereeing from Matthew Carley from England, saying to Michael Hooper, if it was the other way around, you'd be expecting the same. So Israel Folau in the bin for 10.
Ben Vola most likely go for touch. I don't think they'll go for 3 points, down 15-0. Ben Vola wants to get his team involved in this match. Just only get a little bit of rhythm in their attack. Got through 8 or 9 phases on that play.
So a terrific opportunity here for Fiji. They've been working on their set pieces.
On the line, on the line, please, 6.
Terrific conditions, terrific day in Melbourne for afternoon test rugby. Sunia Koto, oh, it's an overthrow, but picked up at the back by Ma'afu. And now Penny Ravi. So they might be happy to have a bit of a rumble here through the big men, although Matawalu goes in and calls for it now. And he gets it out to the support. So all of a sudden, the Wallabies defensive line under some pressure. And Nonova, good tackle by Foley.
One offside.
And advantages being played.
Good advance, Nicky.
So they just have to remain patient here, Fiji. Koto, penalty.
One offside.
Goes against Robertson. Taken by Rugby! He reaches out and he tries to slam it down on the chalk. Just short. Kepisi Mafu is over the line. Did he get it down? The referee was unsighted.
Really helped.
Nicola Matawalu, the
Players
scrum
underneath,
half,
it's clearly held.
was screaming for the try.
Matt
But the referee says held up.
Yeah, Matt Carley, I think he wasn't positioned very well, but gee, Rabbi went so close. I thought he was over at one stage. Tried to reach out. I think it might have been Ned Hannigan down low.
That first guard, you've got to take a step, okay? That's what the penalty was for. We are.
Oh, it's excellent defence on the line. Wallabies body height low.
We have a good
Prepared to commit to that chopping tackle.
Same again.
Got off the line, did what they needed to do. Now, opportunity to scrum. First scrum of the game, Ballsy, we saw the Wallabies really apply some pressure through Alaalatoa. We'll be looking to do that again against Mafu.
Well, this Fiji scrum the last couple of years has been very, very good at the world-class level, but the first scrum wasn't such.
Plenty of possession for Fiji in the last 5 minutes. They need to come up with some points, down by 15 points to nil after 22 minutes.
Your hand away before I say bind.
Ben Volavolla's back line outside of him to the right at fly half.
Here we go. Please.
Vatabua, number 12. Vulavuli at 13, so he's got some big, strong runners in midfield, one-on-one against Carmichael Hunt and Tavita Kurandrani.
Ben has played for the Waratahs, the Crusaders, and now the Rebels in Super Rugby.
Made
his debut against New Zealand Māori for Fiji in 2015.
Steady.
Matawalu.
Time off.
Referee not happy with the packs.
I think it's on the tight head side, Alan Alaalatoa.
Both sides just need to hold their own weight a little bit longer. So you're going to need to wait longer between bind and set, okay? Hold your own weight.
And number 1, Campese Ma'afu on this side of the scrum, the tight head side.
Speaks very good English, having been born in Australia and grew up in Australia. Campese Ma'afu, brother of ex-Wallaby Salisi Ma'afu, plays for the Northampton Saints now.
Bind! Set!
Gets him clean ball here, Nonova. Number 11 is inside.
And it is Matawalu heading for the line. And it is a penalty.
Holding in on 7.
Wow. Just as the gap opened up, like the Red Sea.
7 held in Australia, 7.
Michael Hooper, he was held in. You looked up and you thought, where is Michael Hooper? And he was on the side of the scrum. I thought he'd broken late, but he was being held into the scrum.
Well, a real waste there for Fiji, infringing at the scrum, and they were a man up, and they had terrific field position.
Matawalu, didn't he take off too? He can skip out to that right-hand side and try and attract the first defender. Daywhite was holding Michael Hooper in. You saw Michael Hooper appeal straight to the referee. His opposite number.
Knocked on by the Wallabies at the line-out, so Penny Ravai, 25 out. And Volavola gets it to Vatabua. He offloads to the support, and it is Muri Valu up from fullback.
Let it go, that's fine, play on.
Volavola. Nakarawa offloads to Fawambati. Volavola, wide ball intercepted by Bernard Foley. The race is on, up over halfway he goes. Up over the 22, he's not going to make it. He waits for the support to arrive. It is Henry Spate. He pops it back. They throw it back on the inside. It's been knocked on And so it's all happening at Amy Park in Melbourne.
2 knocks, first by Gold, then by White.
Oh, Bernard Foley, he was away. I think it was Timothy Nagusa that came from the far side.
Gold
And he was absolutely flying, the Fijian winger.
Yes.
Vola went to go wide to Darway. Bernard Foley knew there was someone coming. Henry Spate on his left-hand shoulder. And he just ran out of numbers. Henry Spate was virtually on his own, but Timothy Nagusa from the right wing has covered and saved the try.
Great anticipation for Bernard Foley, of course. Michael Hooper has a chuckle because we did some work to get there. But with a man in the bin, it's a pretty good gamble from Bernard Foley. Take the risk, see if you can come up with the play, and he did. He was never going to make it.
He's good over 40, Kate, but probably not over 75.
Yeah, 75's not his number.
He might even be your distance, 10 metres, unbeaten over 10.
No, I don't think he'd get me. Still, even with the hush puppies on the feet.
Israel Folau in the sin bin. 17 tries in his first 26 tests and only 3 tries in the next 26 for Israel. But now he's on the board today in his 53rd.
Still 3 minutes left in the bin for
Bye.
Israel Folau. Opportunity for Fiji to attack from this scrum.
Through the mark, Gold, White. Hold your weight, through the mark. No. Hold your weight. Come on.
Goes against Fiji.
They're pushing off the mark, so pushing before the ball was in. Koto, they're the experienced
Hold your
hooker.
weight. You both have a responsibility, and I see you go through and go flat, okay?
Koto, 55th test cap now, 53rd for Fiji. He played twice for the Pacific Islands team.
So the Wallabies, one man down in the back line. Opportunity to use Tavita Kurandrani or Carmichael Hunt.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scott Higginbotham off the back as well, number 8.
So Will Genia, who's looked sharp. He's returned to the Wallabies after the French
Stay
season.
back, 9. Thank you, play.
So Michael Hooper picks it up, and he's claimed immediately by
Off the
Dawai.
ball, 9!
Comes back eventually. Now the penalty.
No release.
In fact, it wasn't
No
released. So give 3 points if they want it. And they do. They're a man down in the bin, so this will eat up some time. And Michael Hooper says, let's take the 3.
A good back row play from Michael Hooper. Stephen Halls, what have you made of the back row so far? Scott Higginbotham, Ned Hannigan and Michael Hooper.
Yeah, they've all been very busy. Michael Hooper, in particular, looks like he's very comfortable in the leadership position he's there. And haven't seen a huge amount of phase play between two sides. A fair bit of stoppages and scrums have taken us a little bit longer than we'd anticipate. So both very active, but as mentioned earlier on, there's going to be a lot of gaps in the last 10 minutes of this first half and certainly towards the second half. And guys like Hannigan and Higginbotham, they like to keep the play alive. So a really expansive back row the Wallabies have picked for this game.
So Foley, just to the right of the uprights. Taking plenty of time with it, and goes through the motions, and over it goes. Flags go up, 18-0.
Important for the Wallabies that they did score tries in this match. And I love the line that was run here by the 2 forwards. Adam Coleman just looked for that little bit wider. Players so hard to adjust laterally when you get quick ball. Higginbotham with a nice pass, a little offload. Wallabies score it comfortably.
So from the kick-off, it goes backwards and cleaned up by Spate. Polota now having a run. Taken by Ma'afu. In the pocket is Foley. Goes pretty high for Haylett Petty to chase. But Volavola is there and he claims it, gets it back to Matawalu. And the support is there from Kini Murivalu.
Off feet, 12.
Still inside Fiji territory. Nonova fires it out wide, and that's a very loose carry, and so Coleman has it to Hunt, he spins around and then he offloads to Robertson. 10-metre mark, Fiji territory. Genia Foley, cut out pass. Kurandrani, Fijian on Fijian, but he's claimed there by Yali Vatubua. Now it's Coleman, good solid contact.
Keep moving 3, thank you.
Alatoa. Genia, Foley. Yep. Carmichael Hunt, and also had a great pass, and Spate sort of threw the arm out at it.
Well, they were a bit flat, the Wallaby backline, and they're creeping forward, and Carmichael Hunt went to throw the ball, and Henry Spate went to backpedal. Big shot on Bernard Foley, taking him out of the game. Darwhite and Henry Spate just backpedaling a little bit, so you need to understand the rush-up defence from the Fijian backline. Once you start to read that, the more balls or opportunity on the inside. Wallaby coach Michael Checker, I think he'd be reasonably happy with the first 30 minutes of this match. Some good interchange of play from these forwards and backs.
You don't mind if you're playing at 10 if players are going to come out of the line at you and try to put the big shot on. You might have to take a couple for your country, but it does create space around you, and I think Bernard Foley would probably enjoy that someone's coming at him. He'll put someone through a hole just on the edge. Probably that man, Izzy Folau, if he just tracks Bernard. Another free kick at the scrum.
So that time the free kick going against the Australians, and Veroniki Nonova goes into contact. Now a good strong run from Ngata. Vola's got a couple on the outside, and Murimuri Valu gets it to Ngusa. And it sits up very awkwardly there. Play on is the call. A one-hander. Over the top it goes. And the flying Fijians backing up on the inside now is Nakarawa. And he has got his captain on the inside, but he can't link up with him. Intercepted there by Haluk Petty. Wow, it was looking pretty good for a moment for the flying Fijians, but they just couldn't finish. And now the Wallabies and Genia. The counter-ruck is coming from Fiji. They're putting some pressure on, and they might have turned it over here, and then they lose it.
Knock on.
Wow. Oh, what an opportunity for Fiji. On the left-hand side, Nakawara, he just needed to throw a pass left to right. Adam Coleman in the thick of it, of course.
Let's see, move away. Move away.
Temper's flaring.
Please, 7. No, I will deal with it.
Darwhite, number 7 for Fiji.
I don't have much.
And Nakawara on the left-hand side.
Head
if you
guard
throw
again,
left to
we're
right,
going to have an issue. You cause that,
pass,
be very
you pick
careful.
up a runner on the inside. Guerra, the skipper. This is the counter-ruck. That's what they weren't happy with Adam Coleman coming in late.
That's a good turnover. Okay, it's just a knock-on. I've spoken to him about touching your head guard. Several of your players then come in, okay? 7 in particular needs to be
Ned
careful.
Hannigan
We'll
not taking a backward step in his first test match. Akapusi.
Knock on.
Guerra, the skipper.
Bit of push and shove there.
Yeah.
Wallabies just need to find a way to get that rhythm back that they had in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game. Just lost their way. Michael Checker frustrated. But Fiji have had the field position. Wallabies just need to work their way back into the other end of the field.
Okay, it's also the unstructured play that the Wallabies knew that Fiji would put in place, and it's quite hard to defend against out wide where there's basketball passes, and the Wallabies understanding how to read that defensively so far. 14 missed tackles from the Wallabies.
That's why we love the Fijians, the flair they bring to the game. Basketball passes, they don't mind how they promote the football. Good scrum here as well. And the penalty goes against Fiji in the end.
Up, number 3, first up, number 3.
Goes against Penny Rawai. He played a little bit of footy for the Western Sydney Rams in the
Number
2014
3 releasing his bind and
NRC
standing
in
and driving
Australia.
up.
Yeah, just lost his
Number
bind.
3 released his bind, stood and
Had
drove
a
up.
really good 8-man shove on Fiji, trying to put some pressure on the Wallabies ball.
Number 3.
Yeah, really fair call, though. You can't stand up in a scrum. It becomes a risk when one player stands up and the rest of the pack stay down. You've got to be able to stay down the whole time, and that was what actually gave the Fijians that ascendancy, the fact they did pop up, as his kick fails to find the line.
Yeah, cleaned up by Nonada, who runs it back. Taken by Robertson, 10-metre mark. Marawalu, Vola, and Vuli. Good defence, though, from Kurandrani around the bootlaces. Good clean-out by Fiji as well. Koto on halfway.
Step back. Thank you.
Rugby. There's a good work rate for a front rower. Benny Rugby. Short side they go. Not a good pass, though. There's no way through there. And there's a terrific piece of handling from Rugby. Vola running to the line, then getting it out to Ma'afu. Puts on a bit of footwork, and he's claimed by Higginbotham. They can go from a Vuli wanting to get involved, the centre. And the fullback, Murimuri Walu.
Off the ball.
We've got a man down in back play as well. It's Dawai, but he's back on his feet now. Marawalu to the 22. There's a Wallaby player offside there. Yeah, it went against Scott Higginbotham, coming in from the side.
Yeah, good play from Fiji, interchange of play. They need to start running more off Matawalu. There he is there, the scrum half. He's getting a half a break just around the edge of the breakdown, so the forward runners can hit off his shoulder, inside or outside. There's going to be a lot more space. At the moment, they're just a bit flat-footed, the forward runners off Matawalu.
Last scrum, 3.
You see Scotty Higginbotham get penalised for coming in from the side. He gets up to make a repeat effort. The Fijians, though, they're so threatening in and around the ruck, you don't know what structure they're playing with because they don't know. Every single one of them has the ability to pick and drive and keep the play alive. You see Scotty Higginbotham not rolling away there. Big head collision, it looks like.
Dawai, number 7 for Fiji, and Scott Higginbotham.
So they're looking to open their account here, Melbourne, through the boot of Ben Vola. First shot of the afternoon for Vola, and it's out to the left.
22.
So it remains 18 points to nil.
22-metre restart now for the Wallabies. 2 minutes left before the half-time break. Perfect conditions for afternoon rugby in Melbourne. I'm really impressed with Will Genia, his pace to the breakdown. He looks very fit coming off a European competition and full season.
The drop kick from Foley. The hang time there, and Rugby has it. Arewa offloading. Pick and go. Marawalu gets it out to Fabambati. They keep working to the right, and Arewa just pops one over to Vuli. Carmichael Hunt over the top of that. Can't get his hands on the pill, though. Fabambati again.
Stay out. No, step back. 9.
Vola. Wonga near
5
Baroto.
away.
Vola again, stepping. Ran into Higginbotham
Tackle,
and
releasing
Hannigan.
now.
Makarewa Trying to get that big arm free, and he gets one over the top to Nonova. A very experienced left winger, 33 years of age. And running onto it is Rugby. Into the 22 he goes. Vola. And some big men out in midfield. And there's no way through there. There's the halftime siren sounds at Amy Park. Vatabua right in front of the uprights.
No, 7.
Fiji Mafu flying through. Nakarawa that time just trying to offload. And he couldn't link up with his captain, the number 8, Akapusi Ngara. So that is half-time in the first international of 2017 for the Wallabies, and it is Australia, after trying to Folau and Spate, and 2 penalties and a conversion to Bernard Foley, leading Fiji by 18 points to 0. Let's now go to Rod Kafer.
That'll give us some opportunity to in the wider parts of the field.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities, they just haven't been able to finish. So Australia, the last time they kept a team scoreless in the first half in a test match was here in Melbourne, across town at Etihad Stadium in 2014 when they played France.
Ready? Okay, time on.
2007 at half-time in Perth, Australia led Fiji 30 points to 0. So it's 18 points to 0 as the second half gets underway, and it's a sloppy start. Loose ball there, and it's going to be knocked on by Fiji. Advantage being played for the Wallabies, and Foley wants to move it quickly. Kurandrani, and just tapped on there by Folau. Nothing happening out here on the left. So we'll come back for the scrum, and it'll be a Wallaby put in.
See, there was 2 players from the Wallabies, Tom Robinson and also Scott Higginbotham, who weren't on the field when the restart of the second half started. They were still jogging onto the field. That's why when the ball was tapped back from Adam Coleman, there was no one there to take the ball, and it went to ground. There's Tom Robinson, his 8th test cap for the Wallabies.
Made his debut against Argentina last year.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Only 22 years of age. You think he'd be in this Wallaby team, in or around the Wallaby team for years to come.
If they can get a good scrum here, the Wallabies, Carmichael Hunt on the left-hand side with Israel Folau as well.
Fine.
Matawalu, the scrum half, will have to take the first attacker, which will be Carmichael Hunt.
Let it come. No,
Foley to the right.
Now use it 8 stake. Thank you.
Higginbotham gives it to Genia. He thought about kicking, and then he took on the line.
Not your hand.
Taken originally by Vola. Adam Coleman. Alatoa, son of Vili, who played 10 tests for Samoa. So Alan is playing his 10th test for the Wallabies, and that was very dangerous indeed, because Vola, if he could have controlled that one, it might have been on for Fiji, but in the end, it's very, very scrappy.
By 5. First lock on here.
So we're going to have a scrum about 12 metres inside Wallaby territory, and a great opportunity now to talk to the Wallaby head coach, Michael Cheika. Michael, thanks very much for your time. Early days, but are you happy the season's underway?
Happy enough the season's underway, definitely. And, I thought the first half was pretty nice. We didn't, we made a few errors, but the things that we wanted to focus on, which was a high work rate, and a strong defence, I think we started off with, and we've been able to sneak a couple of tries as well.
Michael, Tim here, what are you looking for in the second half to control the ball a bit more? You only had 40% possession in that first 40 minutes.
Yeah, we made a couple of mistakes, like casual ones there. Not on the catch, for example. We catch the ball and then drop it from the line out afterwards, or from the kick-off. So they will keep the ball for a fair bit, you know what I mean? They're strong runners. But I think what I'm looking for, mate, is more strong work rate. I think that's the big thing over June that we need to build in ourselves, a strong work rate, improve our physicality, I think, as well. We've got to get on top of Nakarawa. He's running and jumping and getting offloads over the top. So work hard on our D and then go from there.
Thank you very much for your time.
No worries,
days, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
18 points to 0. Wallabies over Fiji. And Genia now to Foley, who goes long down the centre of the park. Magusa takes it, running backwards. It's a big winger, taken by Higginbotham. Matawalu to Vola and Vuli.
12 off the ball! 12!
Michael Hunt went in looking for it, but the referee told him to get out of there. Matawalu lays it back.
Knock advantage.
Knocked on by Spate as he went in digging for it. So they've got some numbers out wide, but they just can't clear it. Gutter.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over for the knock-on, and Rabai pops it back, and who wants it now? Knocked on by the Wallabies. So it's pretty scrappy out there, and you can get into a scrappy game against the Fijians because that's the way they like to play at times.
Well, at the moment, defensively from the Wallabies, they're not getting their shoulders onto the Fijian attacking players. They're only grabbing with arms, and Fijian players are allowed to get the ball away. Carmichael Hunt that time on a good shot on Nakarawa.
Well, Nakarawa's had about 9 or 10 carries this half, and I think that's the first time he's gone to ground. He's got about at least 7 or 8 offloads, and the Wallabies defence, they know he's coming at them. They know he's going to offload, so you need to get your defenders either side of him, right up in front of the Fijian man, either side of Nakarawa, because he's so threatening with the ball in hand.
I don't know what was so amusing there, but we did see John McKee, the Fijian coach, having a bit of a laugh.
Just enjoying the footy. Some good opportunities for him, but Ben Vola starting to get a bit more width in the Fijian play, and that's what Coach John McKee was looking for in the second 40.
It's a great opportunity for some of these Fijians as well, because they are missing some of their more regular players. Tuisova, Mbotia, Solo, Yato, Nandolo, Patrick Osborne has stayed on in New Zealand to hopefully represent the Highlanders against the British and Irish Lions before teaming up with the Fijians. The penalty goes to Australia.
Will Genia wanted to go quickly, but that was a massive scrum from Tom Robinson to Tafu Plotter now, Alan Alalatoa to Tafu Plotter now, slow to his feet.
Nicky, you can't reach in.
They nearly got a tight head scrum and then forced the penalty.
Well, that scrum there just showed
you stay on side, so I don't have to deal with you as well. That's much
exactly why Tafu Plotter now is such a good scrummager, because when he's under extreme pressure, he's one of very few hookers in the world that can still raise his foot and hook for the ball. He's remarkably strong under pressure. He's got great flexibility, and he alone won that scrum for the Wallabies there.
How many?
Well, this is a great attacking opportunity. Tafu Plotter now. 69th Test match, finds Carter.
5 out!
They set it up nicely. And they start to rumble, the Wallabies. Good defence by the Fijians, though. And Genia gives it to Foley. He goes high across field. Spader's over there. It's loose on the ground. And, diving onto it there was Israel Folau. They might go upstairs just to check on this one.
Ben?
Yes, Matt.
Try yes or no, please.
Checking footage, try yes or no.
I think Israel Folau looked like he came through and got his hand on the ball as he went to dive for the ball.
Just double check that if it's no try, that it was taken back by White.
Bernard Foley taking the crossfield kick again, looking for Henry Spate to tap it back to Israel Folau. Spate gets a hand on that, so that's knocked forward from the Wallabies right from the outset. Just needed a bit more on it, Bernard Foley.
The second one is definitely forward. Just want to look at the first one again, please, Paul.
The first one, how it ended up in goal, or the first attempted grounding?
How it ended up in goal.
Okay,
because it's further out. So it's definitely a no try. We're just looking at this angle here.
Just looking to how to restart play after. You see Henry Spade's got that, so knock on, so it should be a 5-metre scrum to Fiji.
And that's a knock on from goal 11.
Restart is a White scrum 5.
Further out than 5. It's about 8
outside.
metres out from the line.
No try. Knock on.
I'd really like to see, Kaif, that at the moment the Wallabies haven't been able to get Tavita Kurandrani into the play, and a couple of crossfield kicks. That one didn't work, the one in the first half did, but we've got to find a way to get that man with his hands on the ball to get across the advantage line.
The Brumbies use him a lot from first phase to take the ball forward, particularly line-out. We've seen that through Super Rugby. Wallabies trying to play a little bit wider, which has been effective. I love that kick from Bernard Foley. I think they should, in the left-hand side of the field, keep kicking it. If he kicks that for a second or third or fourth time this half, Tavita Kurandrani then, Tim, will find himself in the world's biggest hole. Because the defence will shift and widen up. Tavita will go straight through and score.
Re-engage.
Free kick, and Fiji come away with it through the captain, Akapusi. Gala.
No, move behind the ball.
So they need to clear. Pick and go there from the very energetic front rower, Penny Ravai, and now the full-arm penalty.
One across the breakdown and off his feet, number 1.
Goes against Tom Robertson there.
Entry and off his feet.
Michael Cheika wanting his forwards in particular to be physical, but you just have to be careful.
Akapusi Yera, number 8, the skipper for Fiji. Quick tap, got to the 22-metre mark rather than having a penalty back on the 5-metre line, so it allows Ben Volleyball to put the ball past the halfway mark and attacking line out now. So they've come 65 metres nearly in that one play. Scott Higginbotham get up and all of a sudden doesn't realise what's happening. Ravai straight over the top.
16 is on there now for Fiji, and that is Tuapati, Teli Maitunga. And it's loose at the back and eventually sits up for Fiji. Gonova does pretty well, doesn't he, to buy a bit of time and picks up another 4 or 5 metres. Taking play inside Australian territory.
Off the ball, 3.
Matawalu to Volleyball, showing and then going, but good ball and all tackle from Higginbotham. Metre or 2 inside Australian territory. Pusingeta, equal most caps in the squad, 55th test cap for Fiji. Hennigan goes through. That's the halfway. Vuli. And Vola just pops it and really wasn't on.
No 9.
And so Genia has it. And he had to go to the ground because the players outside had overrun him.
Well, he's waiting for Henry Spate to hit off him short side.
Now here's Robertson with a good carry.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over. Genia gets into scrum half. Alatoa just pops it to Pallotta now. They were waiting for him. Good defence from La'afu.
1.
Carmichael Hunt, short ball. Alec Petty back to Carmichael Hunt. And Falau gets one around the corner. Foley, Kurandrani, slamming it down in the corner. They'll check it upstairs, but it might be a try for Tavita Kurandrani. He thinks it is.
Yes or no? Just check the touch, please.
Checking footage, try, yes or no.
5 tries in 2016, top Wallaby try scorer last season.
And finally, he gets involved in this match. Hardly touched the ball, but it was the reason why the try was scored is because Carmichael Hunt got himself into first receiver again. As his right foot got on the touch, it has, so no try. Tavita Kurandrani. Ben Volleyball, a great defence to come across late. The fly half.
Matt, wait for TV.
Okay, no
Carmichael Hunt got involved early to Dane Hallett-Perry, back to Carmichael Hunt.
The player's foot has gone across the touch line, line out, white ball.
No try. Line out.
Brilliant cover defence from Ben Volleyball on the fly half to get there and make a tackle. What's the interchange of play from Carmichael Hunt? Gets the ball back, and that's all because he was at first receiver. It's really squares the attack up.
Yeah, it was great play from Carmichael Hunt. He's fitted in very nicely into the 12 jersey so far this afternoon. It was good use of the ball, good second touch. Dane Hallett-Petty with a little offload. Wallabies just need to get back and look after the ball, treasure it now, hold it for a long period of time. Every time they've got it, they've turned it over cheaply this half. Haven't been able to build any momentum. Fiji are going to exit. Wallabies should get it back. when they do, look after it. Changes. Rory Arnold on for Sam Carter.
Fiji have a few players warming up as well. So they've got some territory to make up now, Fiji. Deep inside their own territory. Onto the left foot. Kini Muri Valu. And it's into touch. About 30 metres out from the Fijian line. Fiji failed to score a try in the last 2 test matches on Aussie soil. And they still haven't been able to come up with a 5-pointer in Melbourne this afternoon. So some changes in the Fiji pack. Coleman, Genia, Foley. Now it's Hunt. Taken by Gutta. Hannigan. Oh, Genia monstered there, but the penalty goes against Fiji. Number 19 is on there, the man from the Northampton Saints, Api Ratuniarawa. 30 years of age.
It was a good shot from Charlie Fatabua, number 12 inside centre on Ned Hannigan as he came around the corner. Ned Hannigan just didn't get the opportunity to straighten up the attack. There's the shot there. Needed to just come off his left foot and straighten around the corner a little bit more and look for an offload. Ned Hannigan in his first test match. A 6-man line out for the Wallabies here. Tafu Plotter now throwing in Michael Hooper.
18 is on there for Fiji as well. A debutant at 28 years of age, Kalabati Tawaki.
6.
Congratulations to him. It's taken a while, but he's been patient. He's finally got a test cap for his beloved Fiji. So an opportunity here for the Wallabies. Plotter now has it under control at the back. Now he goes to ground. Fiji go in and try and trap it in there. And they do a great job. Yeah, good work by Leone Nakarawa, the man from Racing Metro.
Referee Matt Carley called a maul very early on, so the players knew, but Tafu Plotter now just caught on the left-hand side as the maul got collapsed. Nakarawa pounced.
As soon as you hear more ball called and it goes to deck, you've got to work actively hard to get that ball out, and Tafu needed a really long place there because it allows the Fijians, if you don't, to lie all over it, which is a really negative rule in my opinion, but they've played it perfectly, the Fijians.
That's the scene in Melbourne as the sun starts to go down. First of the June internationals. Next week we head to Sydney. It's Australia versus Scotland, and then in a fortnight it's Australia versus Italy at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Fijians, they head home next week to take on Italy. And Fiji, again, find themselves parked inside their own 22. The box kick is into touch.
He's been really good this afternoon. Matawalu, the scrum half, has been energetic.
Stephen Moore getting ready to make his way out. The squad captain, and Tafu Plotter now, his afternoon is over. Rory Arnold looking to get involved, and it actually goes to Hannigan, the debutant, down to Hunt. And Foley, shot ball! Israel Folau up over the 22. Puts on a bit of footwork. They won't drag him in. It's a try to Israel Folau. It's a double to the Wallaby fullback.
Oh, what a ball. Bernard Foley. Carmichael Hunt once again at first receiver, looking for runners outside. It was actually looked like the ball was going to go behind Israel Folau, but the rush up the fence. Watch the rush up the fence. Come through here. Ball out the back to Bernard Foley. He was going to go behind, and then all of a sudden saw the Fijian defence push up, so he said my only option is the short ball, and it was the line that Israel Folau hit that created the try.
As you know, Timmy, every good move has a decoy runner who's an option to get the ball. It was not going to go to Izzy. Bernard Foley had to throw the pass because he got shut out wide, and Izzy ran the line beautifully. Just checked himself at the right moment to be available, and then it was his pace, and it's great to see him with that long stride, really hitting top speed. Wonderful to see him in full flight. Pretty happy with that one. It was the option ball, and it came up trumps.
So his 5th Test double, Israel Folau. 30 tries. 55.5 minutes gone, 23 points to 0.
Timothy Nagusa, when he came across and shadowed Israel Folau out of the corner, I thought he was going to get there, but Israel Folau, a little half a goose step.
So Foley holds its line. It's over. It's even more breathing space. 25 points to 0. Israel Folau. Let's have a look at the numbers, Tim.
Yep, certainly been involved here this afternoon in Melbourne, getting himself up into the line. And look at, since his debut in 2013, run meters, tackle bus, offload, he's been absolutely brilliant. And I think Michael Cheika's giving him a bit more of a roving role here this afternoon.
25-0 it is. And Hunt out to Moore. Folau, Kurandrani straight through the hands, but good defence on that occasion from Vatumbua, a man from Pau in France, who partnered Conrad Smith in French top 14 rugby in the centres. Now Genia, the man from Stade Francais nowadays, hoping to come home, hoping to be a Queensland Red next year. Good contest in the air, the ball goes backwards and it's picked up by Tuapati Telemaitanga.
Off the ball, 8! Off your feet!
Malawalu. Out to the new man. What a new man it is too. Another one of the Sevens gold medalists from Rio.
Stay there, thanks, 8.
Vola straight through. They stood off him. And he gets the pass away to Manawalu, who kicks ahead. Now Foley, did he impede him? Hunter's getting back there. Was he impeded? It's all happening again at Amy. Eventually, the Wallabies are going to clean up.
9! No. Use it.
And Genia. Oh, and Stephen Moore has knocked it on. And so an opportunity again for Fiji, but it's not going to come out of there. They'll get the scrum put in, though.
I want a break from Ben Volavola. He just sliced through. Weak defence. Alan Alatoa just struggling up to get it. And a lovely ball was a flat pass to his scrum half, Matawalu, and then push and shove, trying to get the ball. Carmichael Hunt got back. Matawalu, he's been in absolutely everything.
Well, he's going to top the tackle count. He's just tackled 2 blokes without the ball there, Matawalu. There's one. But he'll get another one here. Look, gets him as well. Oh, Matawalu, what a player. He's had a good game. We were always concerned about his running game. Good shot on Stephen Moore as well, with a little bit of a bobble. I'll be disappointed with that exit. The Wallabies, of course, turning the ball over, but just the miss in midfield. Adam Coleman pushing hard out of the line. Got in front of the defender on his inside. Created the opportunity for the fleet-footed Ben Volavola. Here's a chance, Fiji.
We all got that wrong. We all got that wrong. Let's start again. Let's all control our way into
28 years of age. Nicola Alawalu made his debut against Japan in 2010. Toby Smith is on in the front row for the Wallabies, with Tom Robertson going to the bench.
So
Just wait.
So Alan Alatoa, Stephen Moore and Toby Smith are now your new front row for the Wallabies.
Manawalu puts it in. Fijian forwards working hard. Now they're being told to use it. And Volavola gets it to Vuli. He's only about 4 metres out. Can the Wallabies hold him out? Oh, and there's a little knock on, and now they go wide. And Dane Halipeti has the pace to get on the outside of Tawaki. He puts it on the toe, keeping it in field, and then it eventually goes into touch over on the far side.
Well, Bernie Foley made the tackle around the bootlaces of Vuli. And that ball just going to go. That's probably the only poor pass that Matawalu, the scrum half, has done all game. Will getting a good vision to see there was some space on the right-hand side to unleash Dane Halipeti.
Yep. Sunio Koto looking on. very disappointed.
It's been a great set piece from Fiji all afternoon. The scrums applied pressure as they did in that last scrum. The Wallabies really have to dig deep to hold them out. The line-out's been effective. Kotu's an excellent scrummager. Let's see if they can keep it going now.
Good win at the front by Leah Dawai. John McKee, the Fiji coach, continues to make the changes. 10-metre mark. The new scrum half is Sarah Kapeli Vularika in jersey 22. So Bola Vuli. And up from fullback is Muri Valu. Stepped inside one. Good carry. Then the ball spits out. Cleaned up by Vuli. And Vola. And it's a little sloppy there. And now the scrum will be about 5 metres inside Fiji territory.
John McKee, the coach of Fiji, trying to get a bit more width in their play. They just can't seem to get an offload away. When they beat the first or the second tackle, there's 2 Wallaby centres missing tackles there. Vidaku and Johnny Carmichael Hunt comes back for the second play. They just can't seem to get runners off that attacking player when they make that half break. He's looked sharp tonight, Carmichael Hunt, this afternoon. He's got himself into first receiver 3 or 4 times. I like the pattern of play outside of him.
125 games with NRL, 10 State of Origin and Rugby League for Queensland, 44 AFL, and now a dual international on debut for the Wallabies. Alan Alatoa, his brother Michael, will feature for the Crusaders against the British and Irish Lions. That match still to come.
Let's go, Toby.
His dad, Philly, had to make the decision. Do I watch my son play for the Wallabies? Do I watch my son play for the British and Irish Lions or against them? And he decided, well, the British and Irish Lions only come out here every 4 years, only go to New Zealand once every 12 years. I better pop across to Christchurch.
22 weight there. 22 weight behind the ball. Use it.
So Genia gives it to Spate. Scored a try early on, and then they cough it up. Marfu and Fiji unable to score any points, and there is Nakarawa getting the offload going again. Vola, the crowd starts to roar because Nangusa has it, and then it's been intercepted by Falau. Genia across now to Foley. Unstructured play, the crowd love it. Now it is Spate, and he is taken by Tawaki.
Got a room back to the left-hand side. They can shift it quickly.
And they go wide. And now it's Halen Petty getting it to Kurandrani. Falau on the angle run. Falau lays it back. Genia has it. Quick recycle. Coleman charges onto it.
Tackle release.
Genia. Kepu to Michael Hooper.
Hands on, play on.
And a good clean out, and they turn it over.
Clearly played the ball.
So they work it to the far side. And Nakarawa goes backwards, and then it's been handballed on now to Nonova. And he's got a man on the outside. He won't need him! Veroniki Nonova scores the try for the Flying Fijians. 16th try. Been around for a long time, debut against Samoa 2007. Plays for Newcastle nowadays. For a long time he was in the midfield for Leicester, the Tigers. Veroniki Nonova, finally a 5-pointer for Fiji.
What a break and what a pace, but it was all came over from the turnover. Watch Will Genia get his hands on the ball. Good refereeing from Matt Carley, was he had his hands on the ball, so it's now play on. And that's where the turnover came, and quickly to the left-hand side. Wallabies were short on numbers to the right defensively. You can see Bernard Foley waiting, wasn't sure. And then it was just the pace. Dane Hallapetty there, waiting. He wasn't sure whether Henry Spate was going to take Nonova or not. He couldn't get to him. And a try under the post of Fiji, well deserved.
A little bit of unstructured ball. And the Fijians will make you pay in that environment. Bouncing ball, it's always a bit of a mystery. And Vola opportunity to add the extras.
No problem from there. So it is 25-7, Australia over Fiji.
And Will Guinea will just be disappointed with that, not to have the players there on the clean-out. Volleyball flicked it back up to Nonova. He's got some pace. Henry Spate just couldn't catch him from behind.
Aren't they happy on the bench? And the Fijians in the crowd loving it as well.
There's Will Guinea. He would have spoken to his forwards, been behind the try line. I need more at the breakdown, at least another 2 or 3.
Coleman goes through, and it's sitting up nicely for Fiji. And all of a sudden, got a momentum shift here. Valu, and now it's been turned over though. And Michael Hooper picked up and dumped.
Move, right, move.
Genia to Stephen Moore. Shows and goes, no way through there.
One, leave it!
PC Mamafu trying to get his hands on the ball. Foley got it on the inside to Hennigan. Short side they go, and that's offside. Yeah, it might have been a penalty milked there by Will Genia.
Nasi Levu, number 20.
Thank you, Brendan.
Straight through. Will Guinea couldn't believe. It was a good pass, though. Fullerika, the scrum half, replacement scrum half that came on the field. It's been some good hits, though, so far throughout the game.
On the
Michael
line.
Hooper jumping in the air. Vola, and also the skipper, Guerra. Israel Folau on the right-hand side needed that ball.
So Stephen Moore in his 118th test match finds a target. Rory Arnold, Moore has it at the back. And it's still being controlled by the Wallabies as they edge closer to the line. Australia charging and now going to ground, pull down, so it is a penalty.
19,
penalty to Australia.
You, 19.
Goes against Ratu
No,
Niarawa.
you collapsed it. You pulled it to the ground. Yes.
That's a look of innocence, but the referee having nothing of it. And so the penalty to Australia.
They just didn't have their structure right. They set up right when Rory Arnold brought the ball down, but then they just splintered off to the left and didn't get their front 2 or 3 lined up. There's Joe Powell, the reserve scrum half, might get an opportunity for his debut test match here this afternoon in Melbourne. Brumby's scrum half.
So a terrific opportunity for Australia. Stephen Moore with the throw in.
In you come. In you come.
So this is another 6-man line out with Michael Hooper, the inserted scrum half.
And it goes to Coleman.
One out.
Reaches out and controls it pretty well. Fiji defending desperately as the Wallabies start to rumble towards the line. Genia goes in digging. Who wants it? They're over the line and it is a try. Try to Australia.
Now you're down first.
And Stephen Moore is going to come up with it. And so he has a try again in a test match, his 8th. Played all the tests in 2016, on the bench this time. 118 caps now and 8 tries. Stephen Moore.
Good opportunity, wasn't it, Stephen Halls, to be able to set that platform early on. You could see Will Guinea look to his right and Stephen Moore said, no, I'll take it.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Wallabies didn't actually set that up all that well. They're very high, but on the other side, the Fijians are equally as high, and the Wallabies were just more persistent. You always like to have the guy who catches the ball being the highest, so you want to get Sekope Kepu and Arnold lower here, but they still manage to stay together. That's what's most important, and Rakanawa, the number 5 there, he's far too high, and the Wallabies, under the guidance of Stephen Moore, just patient and persistence, and a really well-worked try.
You can see Will Guinea look to his right. He was trying to pinch the ball off Stephen Moore and dart to the right-hand side, because they were shorter numbers, Fiji, on that left-hand defensive edge. Will Guinea gets a rest.
Yeah, welcome back, Will Genia. He missed the June test last year. What a special moment it is for number 21, Joe Powell. His first test cap now for the Wallabies. Wallaby number 906. Congratulations to Joe. He's been in great form for the Brumbies. And Foley, there's the angle. And it's going to come around nicely for him. So 32 points to 7.
Other replacements as well for the Wallabies. Quade Cooper, So Reece Hodge coming onto the field, so Michael Hooper allowed to stay on the field and continue being the skipper alongside of Bernard Foley. Gets a rest. A good performance from him this afternoon. A couple of good cross-field kicks, and Quade Cooper will slot in at fly half.
68th Test cap now for Quade. Good solid take from Coleman. And 20 is on there as well, Richard Hardwick. So congratulations to the Western Force improver as well. He's now a Wallaby. They pop it out the back. Howlett Petty cleans up on his own 22. Powell. Box kick. And it's into touch. Didn't pick up a great deal of distance. Higginbotham is off. And Richard Hardwick is on. So Richard becomes Wallaby number 907.
I'll get the numbers if you're in the right place.
Richard Hardwick was the player of the tournament, NRC competition, third-tier competition last year in Australia.
Well, here we go. Oh, big shot in midfield on Vatubua. Nonova goes to ground. Short side they go. That's Big Bill, Viliami Mata. Kawaki. Spade is off, Hodge is on.
Richard Hardwick turnover, got himself over the ball and created a turnover for the Wallabies.
What a great introduction to Test rugby. Powell won't be happy with that pass. And it was Stephen Moore who juggled it again.
It wasn't a great pass for Stephen Moore along the ground and tried to scoop it up.
One of the issues with the Wallabies back row so far today was that lack of pressure applied on the turnover ball, lack of guys really competing heavily. Hardwick did it instantly. The guy's had a good game has been Izzy Folau. He's had this ability to find opportunities. And this is a play where it doesn't quite come off as it could. You can see outside, Bernard Foley recognises he was shut off to go wide. Izzy Folau times his run beautifully, gets the short ball and then just extends with the long legs. Hits full pace. Great to see him right on the limit. He's had a good game. 2 tries, obviously, but elsewhere, been busy.
Yeah, they've tried for the rush-up defence a couple of times when the Wallabies have the shorter line-out with Michael Hooper in midfield, the Fijian backline, and Vuli that time, the 13, came up too quickly. There's only one option for Bernard Foley as long as Israel Folau was still in the play. Quade Cooper, Carmichael Hunt, interchange of play with the Queensland Reds.
Both went to Churchie, the rugby nursery in Brisbane.
Carmichael Hunt's been defending at the number 10 channel for the Queensland Reds in Super Rugby, and Quade back at 15. So now they're in the 10-12 combination in the last 9 minutes of this Test match.
Yeah, patience for their seconds.
Reece Hodge on the left wing.
Crouch! Fine! Set!
Have another reset.
Namani Ngusa, the number 21 at the back for Fiji in the number 8 position.
Wilgania and Bernard Foley, that was their 11th Test match starting as a combination. We'll see more of that, no doubt, in the years to come.
Yeah, he looks pretty fit, Wilgania. As I mentioned, coming off a European season with in Paris, Stade Francais in the top 14.
They won the European Challenge Cup.
Fine!
Against Gloucester, I think it was. He looks sharp, Wilgania.
Villarica puts it in. And a good pick up there from Vatubua on the 22. And Orewa gets it out to Viliami Mata.
Play on.
Big defence coming in from Kurandrani, but Muri Valu is there to take it forward for Fiji. 21 is Namani Ngusa. Bola. Knocked on, play on though.
Coleman hit.
Causing some damage out there. Pick and go here. And full credit to the Fijians. They continue to have a crack. Down by 32 points to 7. The captain, Gata. And the penalty goes against the Wallabies.
No, he didn't touch. Play. 12 didn't move, not you. 12, roll away, thank you.
Carmichael Hunt not rolling away after making the attempted tackle. He's been really solid square on defensively, Carmichael Hunt. Slipped off a couple of tackles, but has bounced back midfield. Difficult place to defend, especially when he's been defending most of the time at fullback, but been some massive hits. Adam Coleman defensively this year in Super Rugby has been superb. And he goes, bang! Raced up out of the line, Adam Coleman, and didn't miss.
He's been one of the Wallabies' best tonight, Adam Coleman, both in attack and defence. His line-out work's been exceptional. He's really starting to stamp his authority. He's one of the leading second rowers in Australia, without doubt.
How did Penny coming from the field, and Spader's back out there. I think he might have been in the blood bin or maybe a concussion test. They go to the front! Oh, and it's into touch.
Forward off the floor by 5.
Knocked on first of all. Ione Nakarawa, he's got a great offloading game, but even he couldn't pull that one off.
Forward first, played into touch.
So the ball just going to touch. It went 5 metres, so it has to go 5 metres the first throw. Coming around the front, popped it up, just went forward. Nakarawa. Gee, he was good in the 7s in Rio, the gold medalist. Scored a try in the final. Got plenty of offloads away this afternoon.
Petty had some nice touches again. 14 caps in his rookie season. Last year, had the most line breaks in 2016 for the Wallabies. So Hardwick, a strong run from Tavita Kurandrani. Now Powell having a run. No place for a little man up against the Fijians up close. Arnold goes to ground.
Played Cooper calling the forwards runners, now he sits back in the pocket.
No, leave it, 6.
And Powell gets it back to Quaid. Not his best kick, and probably wasn't the best pass either back to him. He started to dip at the end. So 4.5 minutes remaining, the first test of the international window in June. Wallabies will play Scotland next Saturday in Sydney, then Italy in a fortnight at Suncorp Stadium. All Saturday afternoon test matches. The Italians and the Scots are making their way down under, and they're playing in Singapore tonight, Australian time. Pick and go here. Gata. Karawa got the ball away. Mata. And they continue to ask questions. Nakarawa. Oh, good tackle from Arnold. They go to the left, and Muri Valu was wrapped up. He couldn't get the pass away. Mata. And then another charge towards the line. Oh, so close is Muri Valu. Real pressure here on the Wallaby line. Centimetres short there. Ratu Niarawa.
Hands on the line, use the line.
And they're diving over it. It's a try that time. Oh yeah, there's the smile on the face of Kempisi Ma'afu. And it is a try to Fiji. Wow. It is the right winger, Timothy Ngusa, that got across there. So that's his 15th try for Fiji.
That's a good reward for Fiji. They kept trying all game. Pick and drive, the backs came in. You thought that Muri Valu was close at one stage, and then quickly the number 14 Timothy Ngusa picks up and goes across. Only had about a metre to go, but forced himself across the line.
Wallabies need to get this balance right between defending in space and also competing for the ball at the breakdown. A lot of times they've allowed quick ball for the Fijians, only one clean out required, and that creates offload opportunities and those little cheeky pick and drives like that. I see the Wallabies throw numbers at the breakdown.
And the conversion is good. It's over. So 32 points to 14. And that's his first try for a couple of seasons, Timothy Ngusa. 29 years of age, from Montpellier, ex-Ulster. Played for the Barbarians against England a fortnight ago.
You can see the experience now coming through from the Fijian team and also the Pacific Island teams, because they play so much in the European competition, so they're playing high-class rugby all the time.
His tackles, 32 by the Australians. Oh, and there's a big head slam there as well, and a turnover, and so Teli Maitunga comes away with it. And Tawaki offloads to Gera. Picked up and dumped there by Kurandrani. Tawaki goes to ground, pick and go here, and Nagarawa needs support. Oh, the big man, the 7 specialist is chasing. Powell is getting back there, so too is Folau, and Folau will run it out. Take it about 10 metres out. Penalty.
14 entry.
Yeah.
Through the wrong side of the breakdown. 14.
Coming in from the wrong side of the breakdown.
Nakawara, what about the run? You thought he was going to go all the way, and chip and chase.
Pretty good.
Joe Powell covered across, but it was a scoop clean up from Israel Folau. I can't believe it, the Wallabies, Michael Hooper. The shot on Michael Hooper coming through. Oh, double team on Michael Hooper, and after that break, the turnover, chipping through Quade Cooper, Nakarawa. What's the scoop from Israel Folau? Brilliant.
So the hooter sounds, and Stephen Moore has it at the back.
It's the same move.
4 tries to 2. Wallabies led 18-0 at half-time. Quade Cooper, have they got any more? Here's Folau. He already has a double. Spate looking for a double. Quade Cooper, it sits up there. Now Hunt back on the inside. Reece Hodge on his home track. Out the back, Quade Cooper, wide ball. Kurandrani now. Straightens. Gets it back to Smith. Toby Smith taken. And again, Fiji give away the penalty at the breakdown.
Nice work from Tavita Kurandrani to straighten the attack up there, come back off his left foot.
Well, they're going to put it into the corner and try and come up with another 5-pointer.
Just wait, we'll give him a second.
Ulrika penalised from coming through there at the breakdown. And Quade Cooper has still got time to put the ball into touch and play the line out.
Adam Coleman, top tackler in this match for the Wallabies. Hunt was busy as well as Hooper again.
Line out. Line out.
Most run metres for the game. Israel Folau always tries to get over that 125 run metres, 150 run metres. Israel Folau. Nakarawa, of course, made plenty of metres for Fiji.
So Stephen Moore finds Arnold. Hooper, Kurandrani. Tavita Kurandrani, 5 metres out. Tackle had to be made by Vatayaki. Now it is Hennigan on debut. Quade Cooper, Hodge. Spate for the corner. Henry Spate has got a double. What a way to finish for the Wallabies.
50.
Slick, passing through the hands. Impressive indeed. And that'll put a smile on the coach's face, no doubt about that, as they look ahead to next week in Scotland in Sydney.
Well, they've virtually gone the length of the field from the turnover from where Israel Folau picked it off his bootlaces. What's the play here from Tavita Kurandrani? Controls the play and then Quade Cooper has a decoy runner. He puts a lovely pass out in front of Reece Hodge, and then it's straight in the attack. I like the way Israel Folau squares the attack up and allows some space to go over for his double.
Well, hopefully it's a sign of things to come for the Wallabies this season. They could have easily tapped and kicked the ball out and ended play a few minutes ago, but they decided to quick tap, then they got another penalty and they looked to play, and that's a really well set up try from side to side. And guys like Spate and Folau having excellent days out today. They're the type of players the Wallabies need to have a successful season. Need these guys playing well week in, week out.
It's also the space in their attack as well, right across the field in that backline play, and Quade Cooper had to put the ball in front of Reece Hodge to have 3-on-2 at the end on the right-hand side.
It's going to be Reece Hodge with the conversion attempt because Foley has been replaced. And for Fiji, well, they'll take some positives out of it. Couldn't score any points in the first half, but a couple of tries in the second half against a Tier 1 team, ranked 3rd in the world. Now they look ahead to hosting Italy next week. Reece Hodge, it's out to the left. He can't add the extras. So after it was 18-0 at the break, we got to 25-0. And then he come back from Fiji, but Australia too good in the end. 37 points to 14. The Wallabies over the Flying Fijians.
Yeah, one thing Michael Cheika will be disappointed with is 34 missed tackles for the Wallabies, but apart from that, they got through, they blew out some cobwebs and combinations started to grow. Will Guinea and Bernard Foley, good combination.